Buccaneers drove down the field in the final minute of regulation, and Baker Mayfield threw a touchdown pass that put Tampa Bay within a 2-point conversion of ending Kansas City's perfect start to the season. The Bucs ended up kicking an extra point, then Patrick Mahomes drove down the field for the game-winning TD in OT. Here's Todd Bowles and Troy Aikman on the Bucs' decision of not going for two.
We wanted to get it to overtime with the wet conditions on the field. We felt like we had to go into overtime instead of go for two. And we took our shots. We had our chances all game. We just lost the game. It didn't come down to that.
When you're on the road against the defending world champs and you've got them on the ropes and you get a chance to win a game, on one play, I think you got to do that.
Go hard or go home. 4 teams scored a touchdown in the final 2 minutes of regulation, choosing to kick the extra point to tie and to go to OT this weekend. And every one of those teams went on to lose. The Dolphins, Patriots, and Seahawks all fought back to even it up, but couldn't seal the win. All right, Jeff, I'll start with you. Do you feel like the Bucs made a mistake not going for two?
I don't. I think he made the right. He's a defensive-minded coach. He understands you probably, when you got down there, you used a great play to score the touchdown. He felt like, hey, I'm going to put my defense out there. We'll stop. If we lose the coin flip, I'm going to put my defense out there. We're going to stop them or at least make them settle for a field goal, and we're going to have a chance to go down and close this thing out. I think that's the way defensive-minded coaches think. They'd rather have their defense go out and do it. Unfortunately, Mahomes put the nail in the coffin. But when I don't have a major, and he's right. I mean, even the first catch that DeAndre Hopkins made early in the game, I mean, you had 2 Bucs right there. If easily could have had the interception. There were a number of plays they didn't make that put them in this situation to all put it. And by the way, a 2-point conversion play right now, y'all, just so you understand, is about a 30-ish% chance of success.
Okay.
Not all 2-yard plays are created equal. When you're down there on the 2-point play, everybody's tight to the line of scrimmage. Everybody's playing certain combinations. It is not favored for the offense. So you got a 42% chance to win by kicking the extra points. I get it's not sexy. It's not nearly as exciting. Todd Bowles doesn't coach that way, and he felt like putting his defense out there was the best opportunity. Unfortunately, it didn't work.
I agree with you, Saturday. If I'm talking about the Kansas City Chiefs of old, 3-4 years ago, when at the blink of an eye they can go get a touchdown, I'm probably going for the 2. But considering they had somewhat, because the Tampa's defense had just stopped them that's how they got the ball back and drove down the field. They had just stopped them. They had done a great job pretty much all night. And as you mentioned, DeAndre Hopkins making all-world catches. Kelsey had fumbled. They had stripped the ball away from Kelsey. Yep. So I agree with Todd Bowles. Look, under those conditions, considering the way Baker Mayfield had played, all you can do is ask your defense, guys, just make them kick a field goal. That's all we're asking. Just kick a field goal to give us an opportunity, to give my offense an opportunity to get the ball back. Now, I understand that is Patrick Mahomes, and we normally knows what happens. We saw against Buffalo Saturday against that when he had 13.
Yeah, well, like 13.
He gets the ball. He's a big game hunter, and the bigger the game, the better he's going to play. But I agree with you on this one, Saturday. I know it's easy to say, let's go for the win. And then when he doesn't get it, I don't know, as well as his defense had just stopped him, I don't know why he went for 2.
Yeah.
I appreciate the knowledge. I thank y'all both for it. I think both of y'all lost y'all damn mind. Yeah, just something wrong, both of y'all. Something wrong, both of y'all. That was Patrick Mahomes that got the ball. That was Patrick Mahomes. You know good and well, Baker Mayfield's face said it all. You understand what I'm saying? When he called tails and it came
brutal.
up heads.
That was brutal. That was brutal.
Why? Because he knows that if Patrick Mahomes gets the ball in overtime, 8-2 record since he's become a starter in overtime games, by the way. 8-2 is his record, which is the best in the NFL in that span. Here's the bottom line. What did he do on fourth quarter? He completed 76% of his passes. They outscored Tampa, including overtime, 20-7. You understand, from the fourth quarter and overtime. The momentum was swinging in Kansas City's direction, not Tampa's. So my attitude is, knowing that brother is the one that's the quarterback, if I got an opportunity, okay, I go for it. This one play, the game's going to come down to this. Rather than me putting the ball in his hands, and I don't even get to see it in overtime, because I might lose the coin toss, I'm taking my chances, and I'm going for that 2-point conversion. That's what I'm doing to try to win this damn game. I understand it wasn't a horrible decision on Todd Bowles. I'm not faulting him for it. But we all know that what explanation y'all both just gave is applicable to anybody else. When you take into account that was Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
That's where everything changes, and you have to think differently. You ain't trying to I got to depend on making the right call for a coin toss because I know what's going to happen to me if I give him the ball with Baker Mayfield.
And then we got to roll.
50% on a coin flip.
Come on, man.
50%.
I did, Stephen A. I did say I looked at Ash. I said, what if they go for 2? Because I wanted to win my parlay. I needed Travis Kelce to get a touchdown to win my parlay. So I was hoping he kicked the PAT so we go to overtime. So Travis Kelce, and I came up 2 yards short.
Right.
But
I did the same
Stephen A., under those circumstances, considering that his defense had just played well, I'm not upset at this call.
No.
Okay, again, the Chiefs 8-0. They trailed in 7 of those games. Breaking news into First Take. The Detroit Lions added a pass rusher before today's NFL trade deadline, acquiring veteran defensive end Za'Darius Smith in a deal with the Cleveland Browns. Sources telling our Adam Schefter the first-place Lions have been seeking defensive end depth since Aiden Hutchinson's leg injury last month. Good morning, everybody. Let's dive right in. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Jeff. Stephen A., does this move make the Lions Super Bowl favorites?
Well, I had them going to the Super Bowl out of the NFC before this trade, and so I definitely think that this certainly upgrades them. You need somebody that can get to the quarterback. You need a game changer. In that regard, you think Za'Darius Smith and what he can bring to the table. If you're able to apply pressure to a defense that already lost Hutchinson, even though they were still playing better and what have you, considering how effective and efficient their offense has been, now you get somebody that can get to the quarterback on defense. That's a big, big, big deal. When you look at the problems, in the landscape and looking at the NFC and the problems in San Francisco, the problem that LA had before Puka Nacua came back, and even he's not 100%. You just saw Seattle lose. You know Arizona's got some potential, but they ain't quite there yet. You saw Green Bay get humbled by Detroit. You even know that Dallas is a non-factor. Washington has a rookie quarterback. The Philadelphia Eagles are coming, but their defense is still not considered elite per se. I think if you're the Detroit Lions, this definitely cements you being above everybody else in the NFC, and I certainly would say this positions them to be the favorites to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Shannon?
Yeah, I think they're co-favorite. I did agree with you, Stephen. I definitely think they were the best team in the NFC, and this doesn't do anything but move them in the right direction because Za'Darius Smith, Z, is a bona fide. He is a professional pass rusher. You go back and check his track record. When he was at Baltimore, he goes to Green Bay, he goes to Minnesota, and now he's in Cleveland. It does not matter the location. The one thing this young man can do is get after the opposing team quarterback. He's a bona fide guy that knows how to put his hand in the dirt and go attack the quarterback. And they needed this kind of pass rush when you lost Hutchinson because you know the guy that was tracking to get you double-digit sacks. Z has 5 sacks in 8-9 games, so he's a guy that can legitimately end up with double-digit sacks. You need a guy because they like pressure that can consistently put pressure on the quarterback. He's one of those guys. I love this move. Everybody knew once Hutchinson went down, we were aiming for Saturday. We were aiming for the stars, hoping they land on the moon. We Myles Garrett, hey, get Max Crosby, get somebody. Right. But I like this move that probably didn't have to give up much to get him because considering that you get Myles Garrett, you're probably giving up 2 1s. You get Max Crosby, you're probably going to give up a 1, a 3, and probably a 3 next year. So I really love this move from Detroit, and it shows you. There are teams that talk about being about it, and there are other teams that are about it, and the Detroit Lions are about it.
You're exactly right. I think the thing that I like most about the pickup is if you think about the way the Detroit Lions are built, they can run the ball as well as anybody in the league. They have play action with Jared Goff, and they have explosive wide receivers and 2 explosive backs. What does that mean? They're going to play a lot of games where they have the lead. So when you have the lead, you need what they call closers. Za'Darius Smith is a closer. Detroit Lions do a decent job of pushing the pocket internally. They don't have that edge guy. When Hutch got hurt, obviously breaking the leg, they don't have that edge presence. Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator for Detroit, has done a fantastic job. Even after losing, they have gotten better. The problem is you want to play a lot of man behind what they do. That means you got to get pressure on the quarterback. And you got to go get guys like Jalen Hurts when it comes to be playoff time, right? You're going to have to go get guys who can move in that pocket. Za'Darius Smith is one of those guys. Not only is he a good pass rusher, he's relentless. He may not always get the sack, but he's going to put pressure on the QB, move him out of the pocket, move him off his spot. Again, when you're playing with leads and you have the guy who can go close games, that's what you have to have. They understand the 1-2 punch. I like Za'Darius Smith. Is he a Max Crosby? No. Like you're saying, Shane, I agree. He's not one of the preeminent, but he's still got enough in him. And by the way, he really fits. You know, we talked about DeAndre Hopkins when he went to the Chiefs, and he's one of those guys that will fit in any system. Za'Darius Smith is that guy. He's also fits that culture with Dan Campbell. He got some dog in him, right? Like he ain't scared to go run somebody over.
Oh, yeah,
if you want to play 3 technique in the pass rush, he can do it. Edge, he can do it. He's got that in him. That fits what Dan Campbell wants to do.
Edge rusher, or he can play in between tackles.
That's right. Oh yeah. He'll line up on the center, man. He gives it to all. That's right. That's exactly.
Yeah. He's.
Yeah.
Hey, Saturday, you know what you said? They have big guys. Excuse me, Molly, right quick. They do have big guys that can collapse the pocket, and you need a guy like Za'Darius Smith so they can funnel him right to him because he's got to go somewhere. Those two big DTs that they got can collapse the pocket from the inside, and now you got Z coming around the edge. I don't like it. I love this pickup. Detroit Lions, they're going for it this year. They're not worried about next year. They're not worried about the year after.
All in, as they should be, because they can go for it this year. They got a big one Sunday. They're in Houston. That's Sunday Night Football. They're favored by 3.